E bentornati a Simac Tanning Tech a Visioni. Ora parleremo in inglese perché abbiamo con noi un ospite da Londra. Parliamo con Deborah Taylor. Deborah Taylor è di Leather Sustainable Foundation e ora ci racconterà ovviamente nella sua lingua di cosa si occupa questa organizzazione. Deborah, I'm very glad to see you here at the Linea Pelle Simac Tanning Tech Fair and welcome. And let's talk about Leather Sustainable Foundation.
Yeah, okay. So Sustainable Leather Foundation was established in 2020 as a direct response to the changing needs of the leather industry and what we need to do as an industry in order to demonstrate our sustainability credentials. So we work specifically to support all organizations in the leather value chain to become more sustainable, but crucially to be able to demonstrate that sustainability and the good work that's being done. And we do that through our transparency dashboard. The transparency dashboard is the only tool of its kind in the industry, and it works on a really simple traffic light system. 3 wheels, one for environmental good practice, one for social good practice, and one for governance good practice. And each wheel works like a traffic light. So if it's grey, the work hasn't started yet on that section. If it's amber, orange, it means that the work is in progress, but we haven't got it certified yet. If it's green, it means there's third-party certification to validate that good practice that's being done. So it's something that's really visual, really simple, but works for industry and crucially also for consumers and brands. So our vision is the AIM approach. Everything we do has to be accessible, inclusive, and modular, so that we're not excluding anybody from improvement and good practice.
And what's the state of the art now for sustainability in the leather industry?
We're at a really tricky point, I think, at the moment, because we're doing so much good stuff. But at the same time that we are improving, legislation and regulation keeps increasing. So we're kind of like always chasing. And no matter how much good work we do, we still keep being faced with more and more challenges. So it becomes very difficult. Overall, I think from a sustainability perspective, we are still working with the most sustainable material choice that we have. Far more sustainable than plastic, far more sustainable than any of the alternatives that are out there on the marketplace. But what we still have to keep proving and demonstrating is that the way we manufacture the material becomes more sustainable, because the raw material is sustainable. How we make the leather is where we maybe lose points on that sustainability scale. So that's what we have to keep working with. There are so many challenging things at the moment for us in sustainability as a whole, regulation being primary. And I think that we have to collectively work as an industry to counter that.
And what about the communication of the sustainability of leather? A lot of people think that this is the real problem. It's not communicated.
And it's true. You know, for a long time, I think traditionally our industry kind of took the high road and thought we're not going to get involved in this. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing well. Now we're having to talk about it. I actually think that with the advent of regulation around green claims, and when we think about the communication of sustainability materials, we're in pretty good shape, because we have got good people in our industry that are doing really robust scientific studies to prove that our material is bio-based, that it can biodegrade if we want it to. It is compostable if we want it to be compostable. Leather has so many options, and we now have data to back up that. Other industries aren't doing that. You know, if you think about plastics and you think about some of the petroleum-derived products, they're not able to demonstrate any of the metrics and data that we're able to demonstrate. And actually, machinery is playing a big part in that as well.
But machinery, this is the innovation square, I say, because it's Simac Tanning Tech. And the innovation is the way to be sustainable, probably. In this moment, what are the experiences that you see in this industry? And what is the line of innovation that is going up?
I think some of the really cool innovation that's happening is around traceability and around quality of material. You know, having machinery that can automatically grade and can see more than the human eye when it comes to detecting faults and errors in material, I think that's great. Also having machinery that can tell you how much energy is being used, how much water is being consumed in a particular process, that's really vital for us being able to meet those scientific targets and being able to prove our data around consumed energy and water and that sort of thing. Traceability, of course, is the foundation to everything when we think about sustainability. Without traceability, you can't prove any environmental claim. You know, you might be doing a good thing, but if you don't know where the material's been before it got to you or where it goes after it's left you, then you can't say that the whole thing is sustainable because you don't know. So having technology that enables identification of material as it moves through from animal through to finished product is where it's all about, I think, for me. That's our biggest challenge. And I think that's where machinery and technology is vital in helping us to meet EUDR at the very least. You know, we need better tools and we need innovation for that. What I would also say is that we mustn't outprice the lower end of the market, because we have many high-producing, low-income countries that can't afford the latest technology. So we have to be mindful of that in our approach. And so I try to consider it as a joined-up approach. We need systematic work that can be done manually, but then we can take it to the technology end and really make it more efficient and drive forward faster improvements and faster meeting of these requirements that are constantly evolving and changing.
Thank you very much, Deborah. So enjoy this fair and have a nice day here and nice days in Italy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Noi ritorniamo tra poco col prossimo ospite.